I try to inflect more personality into it, just a little bit, just to give a background.
Yeah.
Hey, Fivers! Is it going, Bill?
Yeah, I was just zooming way in on your face. Okay, we're good now.
Hey, Fivers, we're here with Luke of Out of Darts, and we just did a video. That was a lot of fun!
Yeah. It's always fun sharing this stuff.
So satisfying to fire these off. I've played with Nerf guns. Bill, you played with Nerf guns, right?
I play with Nerf guns.
So, but I've never felt that satisfaction of firing them off. Usually it's one pull, or it's 4 darts on a revolver that you then have to go get. But it was 85 through this.
Yeah.
And this hopper
320
had 300
at least.
Like I'm pulling the trigger, and I'm like, this is awesome. And then the feeling wore away, and then it kind of came back a little bit, and I was like, this is still awesome. And then it went away, and then
I love getting to watch that. It reminds me why I do all this stuff. It's just it's fun to inspire and to make new things. I mean, we do these at our little trade shows for our Nerf events, and people get to sit there and fire, and like getting to watch people light up all day long it's just a blast.
Oh, man. You bring that net so people can shoot.
Yeah. We've got this like little backstop that's made out of PVC pipe, and
so this net. It just funnels them right down to the...
Yeah, because otherwise you're like at a trade show and they get everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And they roll.
Really well.
So they really go.
Oh, man. So, sorry, Bill, I'm going to run into you there. Bill's on camera, everybody. Bill Duran, Punish Props. I know we didn't touch over here much on the video, but, I mean, you offer these things in all sorts of different colors, right?
Yeah, so Jupiter, we've got a... Tarek and I, the designer, we have a color picker online, or more a swatch selector. So you've got your handle colors, which right now we offer in 2 colors. We're going to keep increasing that. Then we've got 7 or 8 different body colors, and that's sort of these parts.
Oh, okay.
And then you can also get I should grab a completed one. Then you have your accent parts, which are these. And then we've got additional...
Those are over there, you said, right?
Yeah, so I'm a little meticulous in the organization when I can be, so...
I am very jealous.
These are just all the different colors that we currently offer in their different parts that exist. So this whole row is all the nozzles.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're going to offer product, you have to be somewhat organized.
Yeah, and...
which I am not, which is
why
why I don't offer any product.
Battle.
One of the things I wanted to touch on was the custom supports.
Yeah,
I want to peel that off, and there was one that was ready.
There's several.
The red one.
Oh yeah.
You got an orange one. Let's see. So you guys.
And I have to give all credit to Tarek, my designer. He nailed it on this.
So it prints like this, right? Tarek.
Yep. Tarek. Yep.
T-A-R-I-K. Tarek. Yep. Okay. Prints like this. This is the support pillar, and these are the little supports in between. So if you do that. Look at that. Or you can just take off. There we go. And you said put it on the floor, right?
Yeah, wherever. So in theory, if you do it with 4 fingers, you can pull the entire, I just pulled the entire thing off.
That's
and it
great.
Finishes nice and clean. So this Picatinny rail, this is a standard sort of like airsoft.
I was going to say, that feels
rail.
very firearmy rail.
Yeah. And it's, but yeah, this is, because when you're printing this kind of volume, I can print and ship about 10 of these units a day. While also printing some other parts and things. So labor and time that it takes to prep these really becomes important. So we try to optimize all that as much as we can. And actually the base of this has no support.
But I don't think, because it's a hidden piece when you put it together,
exactly.
It doesn't need to be pretty.
Yep, exactly.
People don't realize how much goes into this, like how much design and engineering is needed to propel a ball or a dart.
Yeah, and sometimes it's the smallest thing that takes the most work.
Well, that little thing to kind of cause the backspin, like you said, too much and it doesn't work, too little.
And that was, just tons of testing to figure out those little things. I mean, you'd be surprised how long a handle takes to design. I mean, you've got pretty big hands, probably a little bigger than mine.
There we go. Oh,
but
a little bit, tiny bit.
A little bit, but...
Well, here, let's go over to the little handles.
This is sort of for a future project, or just general handle design. I'm teaching myself Fusion 360 because it had a baby and haven't had as much time, but just kind of going through iterations, figuring out what's the right angle, how much of a recess do you need for your
finger
thumb.
spacing, the trigger well, all of those things.
It's a very interesting problem because you have so many design considerations when you're talking about a grip. I mean, first of all, it's not a firearm and has no recoil, so you don't have to technically obey any of the rules that you would for a firearm.
Right.
Because you're not bracing for any sort of recoil. So, I mean, you look at like your hand, it's straight, right? And you hold onto a grip. If I'm going to hold a sort of compact blaster, like the grip could actually be backwards. And
It could be.
There are paintball guns or paintball markers that are like this. Where
so you're just kind of like this?
you're more like this because, I mean, you've played first-person shooters, obviously. People are very accurate with a mouse.
Yes.
Doesn't matter where your hand or finger is, they can train, and you don't have to be pointing at anything to get the accuracy. But I don't think I'll go that extreme because you also have to consider, what might a consumer or customer want, and they want it to look and feel probably a little closer to a
Sure.
normal Nerf blaster.
There needs to be some familiarity, I think, for product success.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have hand size. I got this one where I was like, yeah, that's really comfortable. I'm really happy with this, and I'm going to stop on the actual geometry and just worry about the kind of aesthetics. And then I give it to my wife, and she's like, I don't like the nub. It sticks right into my middle finger. And what was happening is these three were sort of lined up for these little grooves. Like your hand probably will fit just fine because it's decent size.
It fits great.
They might line up, if you put your pointer finger.
Right,
put your pointer
finger.
finger.
Pointer finger. That's right. There we go.
But my wife, they were really uncomfortable because she has a little bit smaller hands than I do. So it's interesting designing. I really have a lot of respect for the engineers at Hasbro who have to design for kids, but sort of adults, because adults do obviously play with their stuff.
Imagine that, Bill. There's people with toys that are made for kids that, with a little bit of paint, become toys for adults.
Weird.
Hey, I just want to thank you one last time.
You
I
bet.
appreciate it. I hope this was fun for the fivers there. And go buy his book. It's fantastic. Well, wait, where's the other book? So here's the Nerf Blaster book. When he wrote this, you're telling me this was the only other Nerf mod book available. And
it's really just pictures. It's kind of like a sales brochure.
It's pictures of product, whereas this will actually teach you something.
Yeah, and it's my hope that this gets, especially gets kids and other people, maybe away from the video games and making things, because my whole childhood was making stuff, and I love it. And I hope everybody else gets as much joy out of it as I do.
Well, I think what's really great is you found a fantastic use for 3D printing, and it also involves electrical work, and it also involves a tremendous amount of fun.
And that's the most important part.
That is the most important part. All right, one more, man. Thank you so much. See you on the next one, Fivers. Cut!
Awesome.